What's up, West Box Score? This is Deluxe Smoke Shop coming to you live and direct from 16173 Main Street in the beautiful city of Hesperia, California. Who loves you, baby?
What's up, guys? This is Donald, aka D-Bot here from the West Box Score podcast. And if you're listening to this right now, we have a special episode today for you guys. With me today is Tessa. If you remember her, she was on the show last year when we were doing Super Bowl predictions on, the Super Bowl last year. And she came back with me today. So Tessa, what's up?
What's up? Thank you for having me. Good to be here.
Cool. Yeah, no, definitely. And we have another special guest today, and that is Martin Ayala. He is, I would say, a Raiders super fan. This guy's done a lot. He's really been involved with the team a lot and the organization, just like the overall building the community. I always feel like when people say Raider Nation, I think of him. Like, I feel like someone who really represents it. And, I'm really excited to hear his story and really excited to see what he's got to say about just everything Raiders. And just, it's a huge staple in LA. For as much as I know, we try to stand to our LA teams that have the Los Angeles, whatever it is, Dodgers, Lakers. The fact of the matter is the Raiders have a huge market here in LA. So that's something that we got to address and really just kind of, get more into it. So Martin, man, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Martin Ayala, big-time Raider fan, not only a member, but a club president right here. So absolutely. I heard everything you said in the intro. And the Raiders have a long-standing history, and they've bounced around, and people have affiliated themselves really strongly to Oakland or to Los Angeles, and now in the great city of Las Vegas. But they really did a lot in Los Angeles, and that's where my history with them kind of starts. But yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. But let's get into it. So what was your first memory of being a fan, or when you thought man, this is going to be the team I want to root for in the NFL?
The Herald Examiner, the Los Angeles Times, they never gave the Raiders any credit when they were in Los Angeles. They never did the story from the tunnel. When you're in the tunnel at the LA Coliseum and you're walking through there and you hear this chant, is almost like an enlightening, what every kid holds for at the end of church, just the bells ringing and you get to leave. Walking through the tunnel at the LA Coliseum the first few times is what did it for me, where you hear people just hollering and that Raider tone, it becomes something you want to be at every Sunday, So the stadium was never full, but the tunnels were always packed, and there was a bunch of emotion and a bunch of people cheering, and it just made it for a boisterous, loud sound that it just carried on into the stands. And whether we were losing, and whether that 100,000 person stadium only had 32,000 people, it was like you were there. You were on a e-ticket ride that Sunday.
Damn, that's so dope, man. That's really cool to hear. It's really cool to hear that you're describing a feeling, right? An emotion, which I think is kind of a big part of everything in life that attaches us to things, is how it makes us feel. So the Raiders really made you feel there's some misrepresentation happening in the city that you kind of maybe identify with, and you wanted to say, hey, for those that don't get it, this is a really special thing. So going into your story as a Raider fan when you first started, when did you become kind of that fan where you now really, really followed the players and coaches and all that?
Yeah, because you started your own the Pirates of the High Desert. So obviously you're connected to the culture. So, and you're talking about the feeling. So what got you motivated to start the Pirates of the High Desert? And you actually were the president at one time.
Yeah, no. The Pirates were a long ways down the road from my initial, hooking up with the Raiders and catching the fanaticism of being a fan. In LA, when I was growing up, and this is 8, 9, 10 years old, I'm not sure why in our household, I do have an older brother, and Tess has an older uncle, but we always got the Cowboys on TV. Always the damn Cowboys, across the country, everybody thinks about the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Me, it was every Sunday on the damn tube, and it's just it was one day I got a ticket, went to the game.
Yeah.
1 year later, the Rams were here, and now there was a tussle. Now it was like, holy cow!
Yeah.
Los Angeles has two teams.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I had initially caught that little vibe that I was telling you about coming to the Coliseum, and Raiders were very popular on Monday night once upon a time, and catching the Raiders on Monday night and all that excitement that comes about. But I think you can't quote me on the dates and the times or anything like that. But at some point, the Rams pulled up and left. This is all
Mm-hmm.
within a year and a half, 2 years, because the Raiders weren't here more than a couple, 2, 3 years before they left, and then the Rams weren't here more than a year or whatever before they went out to St. Louis. So when
That's
the
true.
Rams pulled out, it made my choice easy. It wasn't that I was a diehard already or that you
Mm-hmm.
know. No, it was like I went to a Raider game. I actually did go to a Rams game also before they left in Anaheim. And the funny thing is that at Anaheim Stadium, they had the uncovered baseball field just like they did in Oakland when the Oakland Raiders played there, because the seasons were in between.
Yeah.
So it took the Rams leaving Georgia Frontiere, pulling them out of Los Angeles to finally settle me in and hook me in with the Raiders. I think there's a big misunderstanding um, by the outside community that doesn't really follow the Raiders. And every once in a while there is some, but just like there is across the league, there's issues as well. So anyways, that was kind of the hiccup. That was kind of the area where the Rams leaving Los Angeles kind of solidified being a Raiders fan.
Let's talk about the Pirates of the High Desert. I know that you did a lot of like community outreach with them, like doing the Santas, the toy drive, the Halloween stuff. It's important right now in building community, and I think because you have such a great fan base, you've had a lot of success. So let's talk about them. How did that get started, and where are they at now?
Pirates of a High Desert were originally established in 2010 by the first president. His name was George, and you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm forgetting his first name right now, but he was a longtime Hesperia resident that wanted to get together with other like-minded football fans, and he ended up finding a spot and got some special deals for the members and put a show together. So in 2010, he gets it started. George gets it started up there in the desert, Pirates of the High Desert, Raider Nation. And in 2011, I become a member. And then he moves down the hill, has to do other things, and asks if I would become the president. And I did. And I did it with a bunch of other board members, but I did it from 2012 to about 2019 as president. Currently a lifetime member, and I'm the club's booster representative. So if they have collaborations or partnerships they want to do with other clubs, Inland Empire or Maloso Raider Nation or other clubs, they want to collab on a beach bonfire or the Raider fans travel to Tennessee to watch the game, then I would be the one that would be the liaison to other booster clubs. So that's my
Yeah,
very small
weren't you the one
role.
that got your booster certified by the NFL?
Yeah,
I think you
yeah.
were
So
really proud
so
of that.
I was really proud of the fact that the Pirates of the Raider Nation are officially recognized by the Raiders.com, and we're on the list there on the
Nice.
website,
Nice.
and I submitted the paperwork and the application to Mr. Bradshaw of the Raiders, and we were approved as an official booster club, and at that point, right around that point, they stopped recognizing booster clubs. They just, if they're going to exist, they want them to show bylaws and they can exist, but there was no more official recognition happening. But we are on the list. We are on their website as Pirates of the High Desert Booster Club. It took some work, but we were recognized, and we have a plaque and a letter that they sent us that shows that we're official. But
So they're still active.
they're very active. They've
Okay.
I passed it on to President Mike Perez, Mike Padilla, past USMC and CO, longtime Marine, longtime corrections officer. He's the president up until this year, where he's advised us that he's going to be stepping down, and we have a new president. His name is Victor Vasquez, longtime member, long board member, will be the new president of the Pirates of the High Desert. We still round off about 150 to 250 fans every week.
Oh,
We
wow.
currently meet at the Whiskey Barrel in Hesperia, California. And we have books probably numbering between 1,000 to 1,500 members over the last 13 years. So,
Oh, wow.
yes, and like you said, every year from year one, we during the holidays we recognize a civilian family with food, clothes, assistance of what they might need, and we also recognize a military family.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes that happens just for Thanksgiving or just for Christmas, depending on where the club is at. At that time, we hold one of the largest trunk or treats in the high desert, second to none. We
Oh,
have a
wow.
lot of people now that in the high desert that do it. Churches do it now, and other clubs do it now. But we were one of the largest booster clubs. Uh, Usually, we had upwards of 500, 600 kids at
Oh,
any
okay.
trunk or treat.
Oh, wow.
And lots of participation locally from the Veterans of Foreign War post there in Hesperia, where they park their cars, park the trunk, and give out candies. Our kids go around 2 and 3 times before it's time to go home, and we're out of candy. So that was a very special thing. We that actually that Halloween event actually had a title. It was called Little Raider Ricky
Nice.
Yeah.
Trunk or Treat,
Nice.
for one of our youngest members that early on passed away of cancer, and she loved being Chucky. Any given
Yeah.
Sunday, middle of summer, she'd come there. She'd tell her parents to dress her up as Chucky, and she'd show up to the Raider Nation like that. So,
Oh,
yeah. So, Little Raider Ricky Trunk or Treat was the original name of the trunk or treat, and that lasted for about 10 years. That family moved out of the area, and now it's the Pirates of the High Desert Trunk or Treat. So we've always found, the Raiders, and not just us. I see other clubs do it too. Raider fans have always found angles and ways to find things in the crack that the communities aren't doing, that the bureaucracy's not doing, and we fill it ourselves. We
awesome.
fill it
Yeah.
ourselves. Even at the games. At the
Yeah.
games, there's little cheerleader squads coming like, hey, where you guys from? Oh, we're from the High Desert. You guys came in this bus. Yeah, can we do a cheer? Because we're fundraising for our cheerleading club. Yeah, do a cheer. We have 55 people here that'll donate to your squad. What school are you from? Oh, we're from San Diego. That's right. The Raiders are down here at Qualcomm Stadium. We're now supporting a local high school whose cheerleading squad needs pom-poms or something, So
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it's gonna take to change that bad rep, that
That
cliche
narrative.
that would,
Yeah.
yeah, So I've been there. I've taken my kids. I've gone and come back, and I've never had an issue. So there's that, and then we had for for uh for a long time, when this young kid was sick, we had members go back and forth to her specialty hospital was Loma Linda. So we would go visit her there because she fell ill several times. So at one point, we saw that these little kids were being taken from one floor to another in these big, bulky industrial wheelchairs. You know, they had to go from one lab test to the first floor to meet their parents because their parents can't come in because it's a high bacteria type of a setting, and we came up with, let's donate little red wagons, let's donate little little tricycle cars, and we'll get these metal license plates that say Raider Nation, Pirates of the High Desert Raider Nation, and we put the family name that donated it. So we talked to hospital administrators, and figured out a way how that could happen, and they said yes. They would once we brought them in, built out and installed and everything else, that they would take care of sanitizing and maintaining them. So, and that happened up until 2-3 years ago, where that took a different turn. COVID, all that stuff kind of prohibited us from doing that. But that was another just a community observation.
I think you have a lot to get off your chest being a Raider fan. So why don't you just talk to us about how sloppy I felt it was a little sloppy last year with the coaching situation and Carr. And then now you went through a little bit of roller coaster ride for this year. So what's your take on it?
The last 2 years, this year with Josh McDaniels, and last year with Gruden. Was it last year?
Yeah.
Last year with Gruden. They're kind of a microcosm of each other. It's an exact same replica, 1 year to the next, with the winning record showing one better win this year than we did last year.
Yeah.
And to me, whatever John Gruden was doing and whatever he got caught up with, I kind of take it with a grain of salt and figure that the league is doing whatever they think they need to do to be better. And I don't believe the messages that came out. I can't believe that John Gruden would put stuff out like that, but it's there. It's been black and white, and good luck to him and good riddance. Although I was hung up on the Chucky era being back.
Yeah.
I was hung up that growl on the sideline and that pucker face on the sideline was going to bring the Raiders back to dominance. And if it's not one being, it's another. And then there's Derek Carr and some of the players getting in trouble. But I think when you get to the core of last year, the year before last, not this recent year, but the last year when Gruden was terminated, I think it went back to the Raiders for again, the offensive line. I think Derek Carr has proven it, maybe proved it by 1 or 2 games more this year than we did. That if he gets some protection, he could have done it.
Yeah.
That is CJ Stroud, a rookie that was, laying goose eggs the first 3 games, and then he shook up his line, and now he's in the playoffs. Now he just dumped 45 points on somebody. I think the Raiders have had many pieces, deficiencies, and at many levels. And it's taken every year to work on them. And we have, but we've taken too many steps back at the same time. So last year, along with this year, we've had quarterback issues. We have offensive line issues. And a couple other pieces that I think, our secondary. I think you need to be consistent with your quarterback. So I'm okay. I would have been okay with Derek Carr staying if we could have fixed his line, and I'm okay with this rookie staying if we can get him the right line. The elephant in the room is, what do you do with AP? What do you do with Antonio Pierce?
Yeah.
Right? So the headline news today on ESPN is that the Atlanta Falcons have asked permission to talk to AP.
Hey.
If other teams are seeing it, Why don't you just nip it in the bud, shut down the Belichick thing, shut down the heart, bring AP on, and let's move on. Let's take from day one after the end of the season and build for next year, and leave all the questions to the sideline. Because if we I know how it's gonna look. If we give Belichick an interview, if we give Harbaugh an interview, and we don't pull the trigger, and Antonio Pierce lays an egg, now we shitted the bed.
Yeah.
Now we look like that team that couldn't make the right decision. So don't open it up for a can of worms. It's the day after your season is over. Say AP is going to be your coach,
Mm-hmm.
and let's go. We have 300 days or 190 days to get ready for next season with our head coach, who we know who he's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I think that, yeah, to your point, it's a no-brainer. I feel like the fans want him. I saw Max Crosby. There was a rumor that he was gonna request a trade if they don't get him. So it feels like the players are in, the fans are in. I don't know what the ownership loses. I mean, even if it doesn't work out, at least the ownership could say, "Hey, you know what? We gave the fans and the players what they wanted." But I don't know. It just feels so it's so odd that they haven't done it, especially when, to your point, like New England already announced their new head coach. Like literally, it felt like a day after they let go of or parted ways with Belichick's.
Shit, I think they used the same mic, right? They fired Belichick on one stage. They wiped it down with Breeze, and then let the new coach introduce himself. It's like, yeah, you do it right away.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it speaks to their organization where it makes it look like Robert Kraft already has a succession plan, like they are so far ahead and all that. At least that's what the perception is, given that they had a
Right.
really bad season as a Patriots. And I know that that's the thing with the Patriots, that they got like 2 decades of greatness or whatever, that like it felt like they needed to move like this right now. And it feels like the Raiders are in the same position. I want to ask you, how much weight does this all have with this offseason? Do with the fact that they are in a new stadium. The Super Bowl is going to happen in Vegas this time, and all that came about from moving from Oakland to Vegas. Because I don't know if that plays into it a lot.
Does that play into like the off season decisions, you mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. You know what? And I thought with the Gruden thing, with Gruden coming to Las Vegas, as the Raiders were inaugurating, and Las Vegas was inaugurating a new stadium. I thought that the stars and the solar system and the Las Vegas and NFL mafia had gotten together to make sure that we were in the Super Bowl this year. I was thinking like, oh shit, oh, the NFL
It's your
mafia
time.
and the Vegas mafia is gonna, there's $3 billion in that stadium. The casino owners want their money back.
yeah,
You know, Steve Wynn donated more than half.
Yeah.
Some other big Rockefeller type names donated the rest on that stadium. They want their money back.
Yeah.
They want their money back. And right now, look at the Cowboys. The Cowboys got 2 Super Bowls almost back to back when they finished Cowboy Stadium. And I think that's the same thing that's going to happen with Las Vegas, because it was expensive to build. It was a lot of private money.
mm-hmm.
And I think offensive off-season decisions are gonna be weighed against the fact that we got a new stadium, the fact that Las Vegas is the place to be.
Yeah,
They got a MLB. They already know where that MLB stadium is gonna go.
yeah,
They have a high percentage winning hockey team.
Yeah.
And the Raiders is a little slower by the city to get bought into. Like, I could see the fans out there, they're slow because they're not homegrown. Like, the Knights are
Right.
homegrown, but I see them coming around everywhere around town. You see the Raiders plastered. So it's only a matter of some good decisions, some good seasons where Vegas locals get on the bandwagon or become lifelong fans of the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are going to go anywhere anytime soon now in that stadium.
So it sounds like you're definitely co-signing on moving forward with your existing coach. So who are you going to co-sign for as your quarterback?
I hate Aiden O'Connell's number 4.
Okay.
Just so many bad memories with that 4. I'm not sure he's going to be it for the long run. My thoughts are that they go to the draft hot and heavy, trade up or grab somebody that can be an immediate quarterback, but it goes back to making a great offensive line. We gotta get somebody. We gotta get enough guys up there that can give our quarterback enough time to dance. They gotta be able to dance back there, dance and pirouette and turn around and then still look downfield. Look, Derek Carr proved it. CJ Stroud is proving it. You need to protect these guys, and we haven't. 1 year, 1 or 2 years with Derek Carr early on when we had some big hosses up front that Derek Carr was able to do it, and the record spoke for itself, and we went to the playoffs, and we were on the brink of the playoffs. But if you can't protect the quarterback, it doesn't matter who you get. So I'll go with Aiden O'Connell into next season, but I'm hoping that they go to the draft hard. Go to the draft hard for a quarterback and to fill some holes on the offensive line.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know, depending on, I don't know about what you thought of this, but I was thinking, because I saw that last Rams game and Carson Wentz, to me, still looked like a guy who could start for a team. But I don't know. See, like, I don't know if he is just a Rams backup now, or are they going to move on, if they keep Stafford? And would that mean Wentz is out there? Does a team get him?
Wentz is a hell of a player. What's the other guy that's been floating around? Flacco. Flacco's a hell of a player. Kind of what you're talking about with Wentz going in there, but Stafford is still a very dominant quarterback, man.
Yeah.
And Stafford is still a very dominant quarterback, and then they have a young kid back there, from Clemson. He's Bennett the fourth or something like that. He was.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, he started in
like
that. I think that last game. I think
like the oldest rookie, the oldest college football player to come out of the draft last year. He played like 6 years at Georgetown or Clemson.
Yeah. Because I remember that last game they basically played their backups. So it wasn't Stafford that started, but yeah, that makes sense.
But I do think too. I don't think we get rid of Jimmy either.
Oh, that's right. You have Jimmy Garoppolo. That's right.
Yeah, I don't think we get rid of Jimmy. We got to make him happy somehow. And here goes back to the to us crazy ass fans and going on the media and bringing billboards to the stadium and everything else. It's like we hoot and hollered about Aiden O'Connell having to be the starter, and here it is. He made a world of rookie mistakes.
Yeah.
He made a world of rookie mistakes. So the Raider fans that were hollering for him to be the one because they wanted Jimmy out, is everybody cool now? And we took this on the chin, or we're good with it. And then do we run him again next year?
Yeah.
Because we went in this direction, I have to bite the bullet and say, you know what, we go with him again. Thinking that, okay, he already made the mistakes he's gonna make, but you gotta make AP the coach now.
Yeah.
So this kid has that same thought process and can continue to work on their, hey, what, man, I'm a rookie. I just messed up half of the season. I did some bad plays, some bad throws. Now I gotta wait to figure out what the new coach's regime is gonna be for me to start practicing in or start working on. We stay with Aiden O'Connell. Hopefully we pull the trigger on AP. Are there other coaches out there more experienced? Maybe. I think consistency right now is what the Raiders need. And then we go heavy on the draft in offensive line, secondary, and a new quarterback.
Yeah. Is Devontae Adams still on contract or?
Devontae is, Crosby is. The one that's on the bubble is Josh Jacobs.
Oh,
He
okay.
came back on a 1 year. He sat down, I don't know, 3-4 games or something like that preseason. He sat down most of preseason and came back on a 1 year contract. And then he didn't play the last 4 games.
Oh, was he hurt or just didn't want to play?
You know, I don't know. I think you know how Darren Waller did it the year before.
That's right.
He kind of stayed out. The players were kind of pissed at him because they didn't really see him going to the trainers, and
Yeah.
they didn't really figure out what his injury was. But he wouldn't go. He wouldn't show up to the games, or he wouldn't play. I just think Josh Jacobs was being protecting himself, protecting his health, his future, and and then that's okay with me. We weren't going anywhere with or without him. I think it showed up the 2 running backs we have.
That's right.
Yeah.
Zamir White and Abdullah. I think those kids kicked it. I think Zamir White had a 100+ yard game, and the other Abdullah's more like a scat back, kind of quick and fast and wiry. So I think it opened it up for them. And so that's fine. I mean, I think Josh Jacobs if he sees Max Crosby and AP and Devontae and some of those guys renew with the Raiders or recommit, because I think they're all under contract. So it would just be like recommitting, making sure that they're back on the field. That I think he'd be right on there, and he'd agree to some deal that the Raiders could agree to. I think he would be a Raider. I do think he's getting old, but he runs very lightly. He's not the kind of guy that gets hit very hard very often. You know what I'm saying? So I think he has a little bit more longevity left.
So let's get your take on the stadium, because you knocked the SoFi Stadium because obviously you're a season ticket holder for the Raiders. You're in the black hole. You're at Allegiant Stadium. So what's going on with the stadium rivalry? What it is? What's better?
Man,
I know you've gone live a couple of times at stadiums like Raiders. Yeah, so what's the deal?
I'm gonna say that for all other Raider fans, you can chime into the West Box score and let them know how much of a liar I am. But I can yell Raiders at Allegiant Stadium 10 times and get 2 times a following. Unlike Oakland, unlike Los Angeles Stadium. So I don't know what's going on in Allegiant Stadium. That vibe, that Raider vibe is not quite the same yet. I think people need to stop selling tickets to people other than Raider fans. Yeah. Because but I just think Vegas is going to have that vibe because of so many visitors to that town. So many times that you can say, we're going to a football game, close to winter when it's already snowing in Buffalo and being 75-degree weather.
Yeah.
In Vegas. So that part of the fanaticism, the tailgating is not quite where I would like to see it as a fan, but it's everything else is above reproach. Everything else, from the comfort of your seats to the concessions, some of the pricing is good compared to other places I've been to. And I've obviously had a season ticket holder tour inside the gut of the stadium. So I know a little bit more than I do about SoFi. SoFi, with all that concrete, looks like underneath the freeway. It looks underneath the freeway. It looks like you're just underneath the interchange. It's like all cement. The only thing that lights up is at midnight, the SOFI. Give me a break. No AC. 2 times more than Allegiant Stadium and no AC. No retractable field.
There's that nice breeze that comes in. That's the AC.
Not opening season. Bills Rams. It was 99 degrees in that place. Yeah, I was sweating. You were in a jersey.
Yeah, that's true. When it's hot, it's hot.
Well, SoFi, definitely the parking. Parking's terrible. That I will give you.
No, not only the parking, but the parking with the added shenanigans. Because you come down an alley that says parking, and when you get to the end, it's $80, and there's no turning back. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. You pull in somewhere where you thought it said 25. When you get to the end, there's no turning back, but it's 65. Okay. It comes with
Yeah.
shenanigans out there. Over here at Allegiant, we don't have that much parking, but we have plenty of hotels, plenty of easy transportation. I took a shuttle from the M Resort for $4, able to drink on the bus, dropped you off in front of, just happened to be in front of the stadium, in front of the gate that I go to, in front of all the tailgating. And as long as I'm there an hour and a half after the game, I get that same shuttle back to the EM hotel, take it back home, or take it back into wherever you're going. And there's a dozen of those pickups and transportations, and they're easy. But last minute, I paid $50 for parking. It was a quarter mile away or a mile away, and still there was a shuttle that was routing those parking lots XYZ, so you can kind of imagine how far they were from the stadium. Still looping around an hour, 2 hours before the game, up until 45 minutes before the game or something like that, and they're taking you to the stadium. So the food, just the way the Raider Stadium, Allegiant Stadium is dressed out, the black, the white, the lighting.
It's definitely your house.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah. And you can tell there's a lot of flexibility at SoFi, so they could do whatever they want with it. But I heard they can't even have a soccer field on there without tearing part of the stadium or the edges of the stadium to fit the field or something.
Yeah. It's not regulated for like FIFA for the World Cup, I believe. Is what I heard, that it's I think they're gonna do, but they are gonna have like smaller stuff in soccer, but not like the main FIFA regulated ones. And I think they refused to do it because I think I don't know, they just didn't. Like, it was one of those things.
It reminds me a little bit of the old Qualcomm Stadium. It doesn't have a new vibe to it. Plenty of restrooms, hardly that many lines. I managed to get down to Toyota Lexus Lounge just from the outside. It looks like a plush place. More people should have access to that. I'm not sure what level of ticketing you need for that, but it looks really, really nice. Like lots of hostesses, a lot of hosting going on in there, a lot of service going on in there. So,
aside from where you're sitting now, have you gone to sit somewhere else? Because SoFi has that feel like, remember back in the day, like Universal Amphitheater, small, but anywhere you sat, if it was like nosebleeds or a front row, you could see the game. Universal Amphitheater was a concert, right? So even if you had nosebleeds, you'd be able to experience that.
I don't know. I went to the Bills Raider Ram game at SoFi, and I think I went to one more, but I'm not sure. The way I was sitting, the seats are like the blue section at Dodger Stadium, but where I was sitting for that game, I was probably the 35-yard line up, probably not the last section, maybe not. See, the sections are not numbered correctly because section 4 is actually section 5 or tier 5 or something like that. Yeah. But there was a window gap for me to watch the field as wide as the windshield of my car, because otherwise I'm forced to look at the screen.
Yeah.
So I pretty much had some goggle vision.
Yeah.
Where I could look at the field, or I'd be forced to look up at the screen, because the screen dominates the whole stadium. The screen, it's pretty awesome, but I think it's also obstructive in a way. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But see, we got halftime shows with Ice Cube.
I knew he was gonna bring that up.
Santana does the national anthem. Too short. Yeah, I mean, it's Vegas, baby. It's like anything that's entertainment, it goes over there.
Oh, for sure. But how can we get more Raider fans out there? Because watching the football games, and you could tell there's a lot more of the opposing fans. So how is it where you're sitting?
Yeah, I think.
Is it because you are in that black hole? At least are you around other Raider fans, or what does it feel like?
Yeah. I got a big Pirates of the High Desert clique that sits between section 125 and 123. We probably have 8 or 10 members that have seats in that area. So I'm always around some good Raider people, but I have a very class act next to me. I forget the lady and gentleman's name. They're originators from Oakland, longtime Oakland season ticket holders
Oh, wow.
that own the four first seats from where I'm at, and then family people own the other four seats next to us, next to our two. So, but no, every once in a while, there's Jets fans right in the middle of us. There's Jets fans right in the middle of the black hole, or Bear fans, or Denver fans. Bear fans travel great. Jets fans also. Who else? KC fans.
Oh, yeah.
They travel deep, but overall we have a very good viewing experience. I was gonna say about SoFi, the bathrooms, plenty of bathrooms, never had an issue with that. And then the food. The food is in the section I was at, they had it by by LA district, like Chinatown and Olvera Street, and then you could hit those markets, those kind of food places in those sections. So I like that. That was kind of unique to that stadium, and the screen is it's like the eighth wonder of the world. That screen, man.
Yeah.
You gotta give credit to that screen one way or another, whether it blocked your view or not. That fucking screen is
Yeah.
cool. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but it looks like an underpass. It looks like a freeway underpass. Like all that great concrete. I love the old school Rams and the players then, and I wish them the best in the playoffs. But we're really hoping here for Raider wins next season.
All right, so let's jump into your Super Bowl pick. Who do you have? Where do we put our money on?
Straight up, plain and simple. I mean, I really think the 49ers are too tough. I did think they were going to have a little bad luck with Purdy going down, but they've kind of just kept going. And then on the other side, I think the Ravens. I think the Ravens are...
I like the Ravens.
Yeah. My kid's a Raven fan, lo and behold. But yeah, it's those are the two teams that I call like just almost certain. But can things happen? Look at Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas is going down to Green Bay. I thought Houston was tough, but to annihilate Cleveland like that yesterday, can things happen still? Things still can happen. Any given Sunday, any given Saturday, any given playoff game, the best team's gonna win, and sometimes it's not gonna be the best team, it's gonna be the luckiest team, and can they take that luck and carry it on to another win? So my locks are the Ravens and the 49ers, which is probably, a lot of people are shooting for that. But I know things can happen. Green Bay can beat the Cowboys, and the Texans play, and Pittsburgh and Detroit might keep winning. Detroit's tough. Just another 2 cents of mine is Stafford and Goff play. Okay, when they did that trade, people were like, "Oh, it's even." Or maybe even a little lopsided. What are you getting with Goff that you don't already have with Stafford?
Yeah.
What are you getting with Stafford that you don't already got? I think both teams, when that trade went down, were ready for a change because I think they already thought they had teams ready to win.
Yeah.
And Matt Stafford just did it a little earlier. I think Goff is going to win eventually in this next couple, I don't know what he has, maybe 3 years. He's going to win because I think when they did that trade, when Detroit did the trade and the Rams did the trade, I think they both thought that around the people around the quarterback were ready, and they just needed a change at quarterback. And it just so happens that Matthew Stafford did it sooner and has done it a couple of more times since the trade than Goff. But Goff has consistently gotten better, and Detroit has been committed to protecting him, getting some good players around him. If Detroit wins, I might have a different pick for the Super Bowl. That's just the way I feel teams are going right now.
I want to say the Bills might advance, but then I don't know, man. The Steelers always are a little tough too. So I know their game got postponed, so that was interesting to see. But who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe the weather might favor the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills have fallen off, man.
Yeah.
The Bills do this all the time.
Yeah.
The Bills lost 4 Super Bowls straight, man. The Bills lost 4 Super Bowls straight. Boy, I love losing Super Bowls. Bills. That's the Bills. Let's go. I'm kind of surprised because it seemed like they had started a new era, a winning era,
Yeah,
and now they've just slide it back. You don't know what Bills you're gonna get.
that's true.
But if you get the Bills, like the Green Bay that's showing up today, or the Houston that showed up yesterday, there again, you're like, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe the Bills can put
Yeah.
something together and slide in.
Any last things you wanted to say? I know about the high desert, or just in general your business, like where people can come check you out, support the shop and everything.
For sure. Yeah, like I said, Mom, I have a small smoke shop in Hesperia, Deluxe Smoke Shop, Deluxe Smoke Shop _HD on Instagram. Follow us whenever you're on the 15 freeway going towards Vegas, coming from Vegas. Stop and get your vapes, stop and get your hemp papers, your rolling papers, a new piece of glass. We got you at Deluxe Smoke Shop. If you're ever looking for an oddity, a special gift, or something like that, check in with us, because I always carry a few unusual gifts and novelties. And obviously, I carry a lot of souvenirs from not just the Rams, but across the sporting world. You know, anything that's interesting, or if you have something interesting and you want to show it to me and try to get a value, hit me up. Deluxe Smoke Shop _HD. Deluxe Smoke Shop in Hesperia, California, about 5 miles off of the 15 freeway as you head to Vegas, or come back down to the LA County Basin. Who loves you, baby?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming with us, man. And really love the stories, loved your insight. It was amazing.
Thank you. All right, appreciate it.